The Republican primary for the Williams County Sheriff's election is getting more and more heated as incumbent Steve Towns fights to stay in the ballot. The Bryan Times says all four candidates have filed their own protest with and against the Williams County Board of Elections. Pioneer Police Chief Tim Levengood, former deputy and current part-time striker officer Sean Falk, and former wildlife officer Tom Kochert each filed their own protest claiming that Towns is no longer eligible to be on the ballot due to his conviction of a first-degree misdemeanor, which Ohio law says disqualifies anyone from the office of sheriff. Now, Towns was convicted of disseminating confidential information as part of a document dump on the sheriff's office website last year. Now, Towns contends that the charges and conviction are a political attack against him for attempting to show that area's agencies, now including local protesters, prosecutors weren't doing their job to protect victims of child abuse. He has filed an appeal which has not yet been decided, but Towns says the law requires him to remain on the ballot until the decision is made, and he submitted paperwork to the Elections Board to back up that argument. Now, Towns has also filed his own protest with the Elections Board. He alleges that the county prosecutor's office collected nominating petition signatures for Tim Levengood while on duty at the East Annex office. He says Montpelier Police Chief Dan McGee also collected signatures for Levengood while on duty. Towns also asked the board to determine Levengood's duty status, which he calls a significant factor in eligibility and campaign activities. He's also filed a petition against Tim Kochert, questioning whether or not Kochert's college degree meets the state's chronological requirement for sheriff. Now, the Towns raised the question of whether or not Sean Falk has been partaking in political activity while working on the Stryker Police Department. As for the board itself, Towns has asked them to reaffirm that his conviction has been appealed and to acknowledge that he has the right to be on the ballot while the appeal is being heard. He also questioned the board's procedures, calling it questionable that they left the matter open and set for a hearing without a protest. Elections Director A.J. Novacek says he's not surprised by the protests given the tone of the election so far. He says the board will work through each protest with the help of the Secretary of State's office and the board's own legal counsel. In the meantime, an elections board hearing has been scheduled to determine Towns' eligibility. The board could review the protest at that hearing, but has not been decided yet, and they'll make that determination sometime this week. That hearing is scheduled for January 13th at the East Annex building in Bryan.